Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Woman Who Inspires series, a special edition on dance and emotional healing. My name is Sreshtha. I am a woman in leadership coach, a motivational speaker, and a wholeness certified strategist. I am also the director of the Self-Worth Leadership and Empowerment Consultancy. In this series, we speak to professional women and we learn how they have dealt with emotional challenges in their life. And for this week and last week, we have been speaking to professionals who also are involved in arts and culture. So on last Friday, which was International Dance Day, we spoke to Kelly Stewart-Horty. And today I'm extremely happy to have two ladies who are grown and brought up in Odissi culture, Odissi dance, a style of Indian dance, and they are both the chair and vice chair of the Nrityanjali Theater. Roshni Saith is the chairperson. She has been an attorney for 11 years and dancing Odissi for 30 years. Crystal Ramswarup, who is the vice chair, has been an attorney for 3 years and has been dancing for 31 years. So she has one up on Roshni. So welcome to this series, Roshni and Crystal. How are you guys today?
Thank you so much for having us today. I'm doing well. And Crystal?
Thank you so much as well. I feel very honored to be here and I am also very excited.
Yes, it's interesting how things come around. I would have danced with Crystal in a presentation in Queen's Hall. I think it was called Dance Dreams in Color, something like that.
Yes.
About 10 years ago, she was dancing Odissi and I was doing a folk dance. And I would have met Roshni in my original Woman Who Inspires series where she spoke about becoming a lawyer. So if you missed that, go back and check that episode. It was a very interesting, inspiring episode on becoming a lawyer and a beautiful love story. So ladies, I'm going to ask you guys before we get into it, how were you introduced to dance? So Roshni, you can go first.
Well, that's a really funny story. My mother's lifelong dream since she was a little girl was to be a dancer. Coming from that time in Trinidad, it was more of a focus on academics and no time for extracurricular. And her father was one of those very traditional, strict ones. I don't want my daughter dancing on any stage, There was that lack of understanding. So when my mother got married and she had her children and, by the grace of God, 2 daughters, she tried it first with her first daughter, my eldest sister, but it didn't take. And I think she was just gonna let it pass with me. And she said instead on a Sunday morning when they had Indian Variety on TV, as a little 4-year-old, I will come out and start dancing in front of TV once I heard the music going. So I think from there, she took a little inclination from that I might be inspired to be the dancer in the family. And when I was about 8 years old, she took me to Mondira Balkaransingh, the artistic director of the Nrityanjali Theater, who my mom thinks to date is the best and the best decision she ever made in her life because, Mondira, she's a stalwart in the classical arts in this country and in the Caribbean, I would say. And that's where my dancing started.
And that's so beautiful and interesting because it speaks to how we as parents and as a mother, I'm very passionate about this. Sometimes we live through our children and we want our children to carry on our own wants and aspirations that we wanted. And I love how your mom, she tried it with your sister, but she didn't push her. She realized, no, it wasn't for her. And as the universe would have it, she got the daughter who was interested in it and with whom she could share the joy she wanted to share in that art form when she was younger. Crystal, what about you? What is your story?
Well, mine is kind of similar, but more that I was the dancer from probably out of my mom's womb, I would say. I would it's similar to Roshni in that every Sunday morning, whenever they have Indian variety on TV or any Indian movie and they have songs, I would be in front of the TV. And I am from a family with I have three brothers. So they would be like, get away from the TV, stop because I would be dancing in front of the TV. And I think my mom realized that I had that inclination, similar to Roshni. And from the age of 5, she realized, okay, she needs to find something for me to do instead of me dancing in front of the TV. I could put this energy into good use. So that's when she went to Mondira Didi, and we started to dance at Nrityanjali Theater.
Right. And since you guys were both dancing from so young, during common entrance, because we would have that common entrance, so SCA, that's usually a time when parents decide, well, you need to focus on your academics or your studies now, common entrance or CXC. Did you guys have to stop dancing at that time, or what happened at those crucial moments in your life?
So in my situation, I was very, very fortunate that my mom started to dance with me as well. Because initially what happened was when she used to drop me to class, she would realize that by the time she got back home, it was time to pick me back up after an hour of class. So she realized, okay, she started to stay, and then she realized, you know what, this is good exercise, and I think it was something she always wanted to do too. And because of that, I think she got the opportunity to start dancing too. So my mom was involved in dance. She danced with me for, I would say, probably 15 years. So we were in the same class together, and because of that, because I wrote common entrance, so during that time, my mom recognized that I did not need to stop dance. What she made sure that I did was I did go to classes throughout common entrance, because it was just 1 hour on a Saturday morning, right? And she recognized that that was my time to de-stress, and it was my time to, take my mind off of the stresses of academics. So in fact, what she did was she found classes for me that would work around the dance schedule of a Saturday morning. So I never used to take academic lessons on a Saturday morning. In fact, right after dance, I used to go to a lessons class in my dance clothes, close by dance. So she found a way to let me have both. And I really appreciate that, because now I understand a little bit more that, life is about balance, and it's about making sure that you have, you maintain that balance for your own sanity and for your own emotional well-being. And I think that truly helped me through that, transition period of having exams and, growing up as well.
And, Sreshtha, if I can touch on what Crystal said, balance. I think that's what it was for my parents as well, in a very big way. In fact, so much so that they never mentioned to me, oh, well, common entrance is coming up. Are you okay to continue dance? So for me, it was just this natural continuation, whereby even though common entrance was coming up, well, you've danced on a Saturday morning. And so that's why I think today, I don't just focus, tunnel vision into my work or my profession. Instead, and Crystal can attest to this, life for me has so many facets and colors on a daily basis. And that's what brings the beauty to life and adds to the journey. Because I don't see it as, okay, I have all of these deadlines, I have work commitments, nothing else can happen this week. And Crystal, right now we're training our girls in the theater for a big performance, and that happens on evenings, outside of being a mother, outside of being a professional, outside of our daily traverse to and from school and what have you, to drop and pick up the kids and work and what have you. We have this as well. And it's not hard for us, because it was just such a natural flow, given that how we were brought up was to invite balance into life. It's not all about one thing. And by the grace of God, we had parents that got that pretty early and instilled that necessity for balance in our lives, so that when exams come around or when trying times come around in life, you don't break down and just focus solely on that one thing. You learn to invite the balance and the color and the beauty that comes with it, you know?
Yeah, so this is all about the integration of life, and I love your examples and how it has led to you having this appreciation of the blend and the color of life, and knowing how to balance around the things that you love, understanding how to de-stress and not becoming in this person in the professional world, because we have so many people who are so lost. They may be in what they studied for, but it consumes all of their time. They do nothing else out of that besides they may be married or have a partner and they may have children, but the focus on life is their career. And because of that, knowing how to manage your emotions, knowing how to de-stress, understanding how to enjoy the things that you're doing and really see the color and life in it is not there. And what you are speaking about is something that is really integrated and normal to you because you have been doing it for so long that there probably is no question. Of course, I still dance during my exams. Why would I stop?
You're
So
right.
I love
You're
that.
absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And so I want to ask you as well, because a lot of the women who watch the series are professionals, right? So I want to ask if both of you can share a story in your professional life in respect of how dance would have helped you through a difficult situation.
I mean, I can tell you very frankly, I find that particularly our profession and the nature of the work that we do, dealing with private clients, and so your portfolio is very diverse. I believe that challenges are presented almost on a daily basis. And, you know, because you're dealing with the emotions of people and be it anxiety, sorrow, fear, I mean, litigation and legal work, I mean, it brings this mix of emotions into every human involved, the client and the attorney. And as much as we are trained, we have to separate emotions, it does seep into your being. So every day there is a challenge to retain that balance, in my humble opinion. And if it weren't for dance, or knowing that I have dance, or knowing that I have this friend Crystal from dance that I can talk to, or just knowing I have practice to look forward to in 2 days, or something different to think about in my mind, like choreography, those things help me to remember and bring myself back to balance very often and say, hold up, this can't consume me. It's not all about this. There are other aspects to life and other aspects that require my attention that other people depend on as well. And even my soul, my being depends on it. So that helps me on a daily basis, having something that I'm so passionate about, dance. You know, funny enough, right before the interview, I asked my 8-year-old daughter, why does she like to dance? And she said to me, with a twirl and a spin, because it makes me feel happy and alive. And that basically encapsulates how I feel about it when I'm on a stage ready to perform every time.
Yeah, I love that happy and alive feeling. So many people feel so down in work. They wake up and they don't want to go to work, and knowing that you have something so beautiful in your life. I mean, we're talking about dance, but it could be any hobby that you like. Well, these girls are professionals, but it could be anything along that line that give you that balance. Crystal, do you want to share?
Yes, of course. But first, I want to say maybe you need to have Roshni's daughter Sandhya on the show, because she has the answers to life.
Yeah.
That is true. At children, we don't realize how much intelligence they have and we dismiss them, but they really are the source of that divine intelligence because they just came from there, right? And they really have very, very amazing and prolific things to say, and we do need to honor them.
Yes, definitely. In my case, it's very similar to Roshni, I would say. It's not one particular story of my experience with dance and being a professional woman, but dance has helped me stay grounded. It has helped me, you know, as I said before, relieve myself of stresses, the day-to-day stresses that your career will bring. In terms of, I also see dance as my devotion. So in that is my way of connecting with some other power and some other light. And I get that happiness by just practicing. I have reached a point in my, I would say, dance career where, and Roshni knows this, where I feel that I no longer need to perform because I get so much joy out of just dancing for myself. Because I know there's a science behind it in that when you dance, you produce these endorphins that creates happiness, right? But for me, it's not just endorphins, it's also the divine feeling that I get when I put all my energy and effort into this art form and perfecting this art form. And because we've been dancing for so long, it is now something that is part of me. So if I don't dance, I feel very depressed and very sad. And I always feel like I'm missing out on something. So now it is that it has been inculcated or integrated into my life so much so now that if I don't dance or I don't do that devotion, I feel less than or depressed as a result. So it really is, it keeps me grounded and it keeps me going and moving, so to speak.
Yeah. You feel purposeful. You feel like you're creating something for someone else, be it the children that you're teaching or the girls that you're dancing with or the audience that's viewing, giving them that joy and allowing the light to flow through you to them. So I think it comes down to being a part of something bigger than yourself. And that is the true joy, you know?
Yes, I like how you describe that, allowing the light to flow through you into someone else, because life is all about connection and helping persons and they help you. And I love, Crystal, that you spoke about that connection with divine energy. Well, this is my words, right? That connection with divine energy. You know, life is so beautiful and we don't just stop to appreciate the energy and the atmosphere around it. And there's so much beauty just around us, and to be completely lost in that dance. So if you don't know Indian dance, every single pose or mudra that they say has meaning. So every single line in the song, every single phrase, whatever you are seeing them doing, it has meaning and connection with the earth, with the atmosphere, with some being in this world. So I remember when I started doing Zumba, it was difficult for me not to choreograph every single line in the song because that is what I was accustomed to. But the beauty of Indian dance, and especially Odissi, is really that connection with the supreme being, the higher being, the leaves, the flowers, the earth, the moon, the sky, everything has meaning in Indian dance. And it's so beautiful that Crystal spoke about that and spoke about it has even helped her in that connection. So ladies, before we go, I want to ask you all one more question. What would you tell women who have children who may want to dance, but they may think that, no, I want my daughter to grow up to be a lawyer or to be a doctor and dance will distract her? What would you say to that woman?
Well, I think Crystal and I probably have the same words running through our heads right now. Don't ever make the mistake to deprive anyone the opportunity to express themselves artistically, because you express yourself artistically even through your profession on a daily basis. And believe it or not, it makes you a better professional when you are in touch with the heart through art. Yeah,
that is so beautiful and so true, because like what I teach in my coaching, being a professional is all about the ability to connect with another human.
yeah.
And that ability is what creates value and psychological safety and trust in your team. So I will ask Crystal, what message do you have for women out there who may be used to dance and thinking about getting back into it, but thinking maybe they're too old or their time has passed?
I will say you're never too old, because I mean, from the experience I spoke about, my mom started dancing with me, right? And that, I mean, motivation that I got out of her dancing and that inspiration, because I mean, that was a real big inspiration for me and even for the girls that were in the class with us. They were so inspired that my mom would start dancing. I would encourage you, if it is that you feel that you want to start back dancing, it's never too late. And you can take it as an opportunity to start dancing with your daughters or even a niece, you know, and build that relationship and that bond, because you will be an inspiration. And even the interaction with the younger ones in dance, it's so valuable throughout life, because children bring so much joy and they're such a blessing. So I mean, being able to interact with children through dance, I think that's something I really appreciate having the opportunity to do now in Nrityanjali Theater with the younger ones. I know Roshni mentioned that we're preparing for a performance soon. And the interaction we get to have with these younger ones, it really is very inspiring. It motivates us to continue doing what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I want to encourage everybody, if you have an inclination to dance, please follow that inclination and just start dancing. It is never too late. And it's never too difficult to do. It is something that will bring you a lot of joy and satisfaction.
And you mentioned you have a performance coming up. Are you able to speak on that, when it may be, or is that still being worked out?
Actually, this one, it's not a Nrityanjali Theater specific performance. Instead, we were invited to perform for the Indian Arrival Day national celebration hosted by the National Council for Indian Culture at the Diwali Nagar. So that's an evening of dance, and it's on the 20th of May. So right now, our girls were invited to perform. So actually, Crystal, myself, and one of our senior dancers, Sadhna, we are all getting together to do an invocation item to open the show, hopefully, God willing. And later on, the little girls would be coming on with a Pallavi item, which we are currently training them. You know, not really training them. I mean, all their training came from Mondira Didi, but we're here just cleaning them up a little bit. Not that they need any cleaning up, but helping them prepare for their stage, you know, as best as we can.
Yes, so if you're all interested, you all could see them dance there. And do you want to give information on if persons are interested in joining the theater or learning to dance with Nrityanjali? How will they contact you all?
Sure, certainly. Crystal, you want to share your work mobile number?
So yes, so you can contact me at 263-0950. Or you can also check out Nrityanjali Theater on our Facebook and Instagram pages, and you can always contact us there to find out when we will be enrolling new students. And I mean, if you're just interested and you want some information, you can reach out to us there or at my number 263-0950. Feel free to give us a call or send us a message.
Good.
Thank you so much, ladies, for coming and sharing about dance and its power to help us in our lives, in our professions, to help us understand integration, to help us understand the beautiful colors in life, to help us even be more in touch with that divine energy. It was such a beautiful share that you guys came and spoke about today, and I'm very grateful for both of you. So thank you so much. And to my audience, thank you for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.